Hello everyone, Bo here. So I am not happy to have to make this video, but it feels necessary. It also feels completely pointless and futile because, you know, the Supreme Court is, there's a majority, Republican force there, and it seems the majority of justices have already agreed that they plan to overturn Roe v. Wade. But still, I figure, why not? It can't hurt. And I just want to have this kind of concise sort of video where I discuss these 5 what I feel are the strongest points that defend the idea of women and girls having the right to access abortions, because unfortunately it's not only still a conversation and a thing, but it's more relevant than it's ever been. Because again, it looks like Roe v. Wade is about to be overturned, which will mean that states will be able to fully prevent, potentially, the ability for women and girls to access abortions. And then, my God, on top of that, there are a bunch of Republican run states that are also wanting, and I forget which has already enacted, a ban on certain contraceptives, like Plan B. Plan B, which does not terminate a pregnancy, it just prevents one from happening. It prevents the sperm from reaching the egg, it's just mind-blowing. I don't know if this is an education thing, where they think it's something that it's not. They're confusing what it does with what the abortion pill does, perhaps, or if it's a very knowing attempt to really control women and girls in a very specific way. I can't say enough how angry and annoyed I am, but I do just want to get into the points. So, argument number 1. No one, living or unborn, should have the right to use someone else's body to live. It makes no sense that an unborn baby's potential life should trump the rights of a woman or girl who has decided that she doesn't want to grow said baby in her body. It is her body, so is her right alone. It is okay to be selfish sometimes. It is especially okay to be selfish about the only thing that you truly own, your body, as long as it's a committed to decision that minimizes suffering. Argument number 2. Every woman and girl should have the right to decide what gets to be or remain, or not be or remain, in her body. That should be a basic human right. If you argue and believe that the body of the fetus is a separate body from the pregnant woman or girl's body with its own agency or rights, then that is only more reason for her to be allowed to be able to remove this separate body from her own body. Again, no human in any state of development should ever have the right to force another human to use her body to sustain its life or host its existence. Argument number 3. A fetus has no perspective or knowledge and did not ask to be created. It is literally forced into existence. People who often don't even care what happens to the unborn after birth, inserting themselves as proxy voices of the unborn, but only to demand that they be born, when in reality they didn't even ask to be conceived and literally don't know what the hell is going on and what kind of mess of a world they're being born into, is absurd. The unborn don't and can't understand the circumstances under which they were created or the struggles that lay ahead because, again, they have no knowledge or perspective. Only its female host has the advantage of perspective and the necessary information to make reasonable assessments and a thoughtful judgment about the best decision for herself and the fetus inside of her body. So it is only fair and logical that she be the sole person allowed to make this decision, as hers is the most important opinion and she is the most aware between her and baby of her road ahead. Argument number 4. An abortion has the same societal impact as if contraception had been used, worked, and resulted in the theoretically aborted fetus's 2 halves, the egg half and the sperm half, ending up as half a flushed menstrual cycle and half a discarded condom filled with perfectly viable, yet thwarted, semen. That's how most potential life ends. It's not a big deal. It's not an inherently impactful event to anyone except for maybe the girl or woman actually experiencing the, I'll say, ostensible unpleasantness of an abortion. Because I do think that most pro-choicers would agree that it's not an ideal situation to be getting an abortion. It means something went wrong. But that is for the woman or girl to deal with, to cope with, and to be victorious in overcoming the psychological pain of, if there is any. And finally, argument number 5. To those who say things like, if women and girls don't want babies, they should keep their legs closed. If they aren't raised with good sexual education, humans are going to human. Girls feel lust, and lust doesn't require or come with sense or reproduction education. Girls also tend to feel a deep urge to hold on to their male partners, especially if that pesky emotion of love is involved, or any sort of attachment feelings for that matter. So girls and even women often find themselves in predicaments of actually wanting to hold off on sex, but being persuaded, and sometimes even coerced and shamed and pressured into both protected and unprotected sex for fear that she'll lose her guy. That said, the implication in that type of low-key misogynistic chiding about closed versus open female legs is that the baby should be born to teach the sex-having girl or woman, or if we're really honest about how those who argue this really think of such ladies, teach that stupid slut/thought/whore a lesson about consequences. But it's not reasonable or necessary to force new humans to exist to teach their unwilling mothers what a specific type of consequence feels like. The consequence of unwilling motherhood. New unwanted humans, aka babies, should not be forced into this very flawed world, a flawed world that is over 7 billion members strong, mind you, because of some vindictive, irrational, and unhinged misogynistic urge to punish female humans, or Jezebels, right, for having sex. So those are the arguments. I just wanted to have one video that was on the short side, that was devoted to just this. It's an unfortunate circumstance to be making a video under. But thank you for watching and listening. And as far as Roe v. Wade, we'll see what happens. It doesn't look good, though. Yeah. Thankfully, states can't force you to stay inside your state, though, right? So at least these women and girls theoretically can potentially at least travel to blue states where abortion is legal. Okay, so again, thanks for listening, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.